ones, facing our fears, laughing through the chaos and drinking some beers. So here's to the laughs, the crumbs and the cheers, all the awkward moments, and we're still here. Cause in the end, we're just doing our thing. It's our crazy life, oh, one more thing. Oh, one more thing. Oh!
Hey everyone, I'm Rob. Welcome to Oh, and One More Thing.
Hey, I'm Brian. We're back for another new season.
Yes, we
How
are.
was the holiday break?
It was fantastic. Christmas was great. It was cold, but it was fun.
Yeah?
You?
What'd you do for Christmas?
I got the whole family together. We actually had to do it a little bit after Christmas because Nurse Nikki had to work Christmas holiday this year, so we had it on Saturday.
Okay.
So I got everybody together, opened presents, had a good old time. Had a breakfast brunch.
Well, that's nice.
What'd you guys do?
We just had our small family over. That's
Nice.
all. We did all the holiday stuff with the relatives earlier, so that's all done with and good.
Fun.
Yep. And so New Year's was quiet again. That's kind of how we like it.
Kinda how
We
we
don't
like
go
it.
out anymore.
Yeah. Hey, did you notice our new intro?
Yeah.
That it's shorter?
It's shorter.
Yeah, because nobody wants to hear us talk anymore, so we just got rid of that.
Well, come on. We're a talk show, Rob.
I know, but
Obviously, people want to hear us talk.
Yeah, it was long. So, anyway.
So before we get started on today's show, I want to acknowledge the fact that the last show we did for the holidays, we forgot to talk about Halloween.
I know we did. That was horrible.
I mean, are you kidding?
I know.
So we know Halloween's a big holiday for a lot of people. So we're going to dedicate an entire show to Halloween this coming October. So stay tuned.
That's right. Okay, but for today, I am so excited.
Who's
we
here?
have a guest. I'm so excited to have this guy here. He is a choreographer extraordinaire, but a very, very good friend of ours. A fantastic human being. I'm so glad he took time out of his busy schedule to hang with us. Kevin Chase.
Hi guys, how are you?
Hi, Kevin.
Fantastic. Thanks for being here, Kevin.
Good to see you guys. It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yes, we've been out of the business for a couple of years.
Yeah.
So how do we know Kevin, Brian?
I think it's from Show Choir.
I think you're
I think
correct.
most people we know are from Show
Pretty
Choir.
much. That's
Rob.
our entire friend group.
I mean, that's how we met.
That's true. So, as many of you know, Brian and I were show choir trailer dads for
Trailer Dad.
quite a few years, where we drove all the equipment and stuff around for each competition.
I think I met most of my buddies there.
I met all my buddies there, pretty much. And Kevin is a choreographer for lots of groups, but specifically for us, for Waconia's Power Company.
Yeah.
So that's how we got to know Kevin on a regular basis, and
He hangs around a lot.
hangs around with us, right?
Yeah.
So super excited you're here. So we're just gonna kind of slap some questions at you.
Love it.
Is that
Let's
cool?
go.
So we'll just kind of throw some questions and see how it goes. And you just...
Cool.
All right.
Okay, so let's start off with this. You grew up in Bemidji.
I did.
So that's pretty far north from here. Tell us a little bit about that.
Number one, so grew up in Bemidji, work a lot in Minneapolis, but I live in Des Moines. Three
Okay.
very different.
Very
Oh, so that's a lot of space.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And actually, it's a different world. I'm not
yeah.
kidding. Like, just in speaking of like winter alone, Des Moines versus Minneapolis,
Right.
completely different. Des Moines versus Bemidji, like...
Oh, got to be night and day.
If I recall, my mom or someone could check me on this, but I think the rule was if it was negative 32 or warmer, then the rule was you are standing at the bus stop.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
No question.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
are waiting outside at the bus stop.
Yep.
Doesn't matter how long that driveway is.
Right.
If it was colder than negative 32, then you were allowed to wait in your house and the bus would stop for you.
But you're still going to school.
It's beyond, of course I
They're not
walk.
closing school.
No. Not like now. I think
Yeah.
I think they close a lot more than they
yeah.
used to.
Yeah.
Probably
when
more
it gets like
precautions
a
and
zero
stuff.
out there. They're closing schools. And I'm like, what? That's not when I was a kid.
No, never.
Yeah, I once actually, speaking of show choir, I was doing a rehearsal in Mississippi and I'm in my hotel room, curtains closed, whatever. And I get a call from the director. We have to cancel rehearsal today because of the snow. And I'm going, snow?
What snow?
So I open up the window or the curtains of my hotel and I look and there's like a dusting and I can see the green. I can
Right.
still see the green in the grass.
Yeah.
But it's, it's just different regions handle that stuff so
Different world.
differently.
Yeah.
But Bemidji's cold.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I say that as somebody who, as Rob noticed when I walked up to the house today, I'm in shorts. I am currently in shorts and it's very much
And
winter.
it's what, like 8 degrees out, maybe?
Yeah.
Something like that.
And I will be in shorts tomorrow and likely next week and likely on Christmas Day. We'll see what happens.
There you go.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. My mom is going to visit us for Christmas. She lives in Arizona. She visited us for Christmas. She lives in Arizona, and she was giving us a hard time that, oh my gosh, it's going to be like 10 below when I'm there. Mom, you lived here for 50 freaking years. But it's how you get acclimated to your new
To the
world.
new the area,
like,
yeah.
She has no clue anymore, like what it's
Right.
leg. So she was in for a world of hurt when she got here.
But I like Marianne.
Aw, cute. Yeah, Bemidji's great. I love Bemidji. You know, it's small town.
Yeah.
You know, like in a Waconia versus like an Edina or Waconia versus Minneapolis.
Right.
Bemidji is a small town. I think that comes with good things and bad things. You know, I think Bemidji is a growing and evolving city. And I am somebody who got a lot from the city of Bemidji, especially, you know, we'll get into it eventually, how I kind of got my show choir start.
Okay.
So I feel like a responsibility to give back to Bemidji in the way that Bemidji gave to me, in the way that it still is providing for me opportunities and whatnot.
Right.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's just jump right into that question. How did you get started in being a choreography director?
It's pretty interesting. The short version of the story is, it was 2 years after I had graduated. Okay. And you know how alumni, you know, even like at Waconia and stuff, alumni will sometimes come back and watch a dress rehearsal or watch something. Yeah. And so I came back over MEA break. I was at Concordia College at the time in Moorhead, Minnesota. I came back over MEA break just to stop by and like see what they were doing.
Right.
Again, it's been 2 years since I've graduated, and see April James, the choreographer, who was my choreographer and still is a great friend of mine. I bop in and nobody's at the school. It's just Chris Fettig, the director, sitting in his office. And I went, hey, what's up? And he goes, oh my God, what are you doing here? And I was like, oh, I just came to say, hey. Well, April James had missed her flight.
Oh.
And that was back in the day, you guys. We learned the whole show. You know what a show is?
Yeah.
A whole show. In a Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Oh my God.
Because that's a lot.
That's a lot.
So for people who don't know, that's a lot of information to pack in.
For the kids, for the directors, for the choreographers, that's a lot of work. And it was like 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. all 3 days.
So you're like tired. You're just beat.
Choreo camps are so tired. So exhausting. So I come to Bemidji and he's like, April missed her flight. She's coming back into town a day late and we still have to get the show done. And now we've lost a day.
Right.
So he says, will you stay and learn the show with the kids and help them? And truly, my first impression was, no. Like I felt
Why would you want to do that?
Yeah, I felt like, what?
Yeah.
Like I'm so removed from show choir and I don't want to be that like nerdy alumni who just can't let it go.
Right.
We all know those people.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's true.
Yeah.
Then finally, I said, okay, sure. Like, okay, fine. I remember going to the Paul Bunyan Mall because I didn't have tennis shoes with me. I didn't have like any like athletic clothes. It just was normal
Sure, you were
outfits,
coming
whatever.
for a visit, that's all.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I do the weekend with the kids. I learn the choreo and I go back to Concordia. Everything's back to normal, whatever. Long story short, I was a vocal performance major in college.
Okay.
So I went to college to be a singer.
I was going to ask you that. What did you go to college for?
That's what I originally went for. And when I auditioned when I was at Bemidji High School, I auditioned for the Vocal Performance Scholarship at Concordia, which is a $10,000 scholarship.
Sure.
And I got that scholarship.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
They made it very clear they were accepting me on my vocal merit and not my academic merit. That's a whole nother story. But so I go back to Concordia, doing my thing, I find out my vocal cord is paralyzed.
Oh, no.
And so I went to a specialist and we did with this whole long journey of life sucks. And basically the way that I found out was the doctor who I thought maybe needed some better guidance on how to be a supportive medical professional literally said this. Well, better pick a new major. That's how the information was delivered to me. And I was like devastated. Truly. I was like, oh my God, I want like blah, 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 whatever. So Chris Fettig, the director of Vocomotive, Bemidji High School, reaches out to me. My mom did daycare for his kids. And he goes, hey, I hear you're having a hard time at college. Things aren't going the way you would prefer for them to be going. Come home, take classes at Bemidji State, and be my assistant director. So I was an assistant director before I was really a choreographer.
Okay. Assistant director for the
show choir for Vocomotive. Yeah.
Okay.
The next year, we started La Voce Ballo from scratch.
Okay.
So I was a director and a choreographer for La Voce Ballo in 2004.
Okay.
Then all of a sudden, I'm choreographing the middle schools, 2 show choirs at Bemidji Middle School. Then I'm all of a sudden the director and the choreographer of the theater program doing the musicals. Okay. And it just kind of turned into this thing. And then the next thing I know, Aaron Olson, director of Waconia High School, as you guys know, reaches out and asks me to choreograph for The Current, 2008. So Waconia the Current is the first show choir that I've ever choreographed outside of Bemidji.
And the current it was Waconia's JV team.
Yep.
And how did Aaron get to know you then to make that call?
So Aaron and I first met each other through the scene of just competitions and directors mingle and chat and whatever.
All right.
So we had met each other through there, but Aaron just told the story to Power Company actually. Bemidji and Power Company, or Bemidji and Waconia used to get together and do like an exchange show.
Okay.
Where like we would come to Waconia on the way to a competition.
Right.
We would stop, do our show for them. They would do their show for us, and we would just have this like fun exchange. 1 year
So
we
sharing
did,
of ideas, kind of an idea.
but also just like giving the kids opportunity to perform their show one more time for an audience.
Right.
A little practice session.
Yeah, a little, kind of get the nerves out a little bit, whatever. And I remember once after Bemidji performed for Waconia, Aaron walked up on stage and talked about me to both Waconia and Bemidji and said he had never seen Bemidji so clean and so put together and like, whoa, Kevin is doing a great job in his new role with Bemidji.
Right.
And then the next thing I know, I'm choreographing the Current.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. So, a lot of what I have shared in the past about my appreciation, my gratitude, my history of show choir for sure was born in Bemidji. But also, like, Waconia has a big piece of that show choir at heart and love for me,
Yeah.
And so how many groups are you doing now, bring forward to today?
I think this year I'm doing 23, which is down from 25. I was stuck at, not stuck, that's the wrong word. I just couldn't get rid of them. Right. I was at 25 for quite a few years. 27 happened once. And I was like, too much.
How can you sustain that?
To be honest, I don't know that you can.
Right. That's a lot for one person to travel around and do all those different shows.
Yeah. And I'm finding the longer I do this, the longer I understand it's actually not just about the choreography of it all either.
Right.
It's the hours traveling or it's the hours coming up with the ideas.
Oh, yeah. That all factors in. Other than just the show itself and helping the kids create the show, it's all that time up front.
And it's a lot of time.
Yeah.
And you guys know this too, as trailer dads, working on lighting or hauling and organizing. These shows happen because a lot of people put a lot of effort and time into them, but they don't happen without people like you guys or the parents and the volunteers. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot for sure.
So, was there any other significant jobs in your history that helped you in this current profession that kind of drove you that direction? Or did it really kind of stumbled upon it the way it sounds?
It pretty much was a stumble. The jobs that I had before choreography and show choir, I was a manager of a hotel in Bemidji. And then I also was a server and a bartender and a manager, key manager they called them, at Applebee's in Bemidji. So like I worked in food service most of my life as a server. My first job ever was being a dishwasher at a truck stop. Which is so not my vibe. But then I became a server at the truck stop, and I was the first male server they ever let serve the tables because it's a truck stop. It's a very unique, whatever. And I was by far one of the like most popular and successful servers.
Yeah.
But I think if you're a good person and you work hard at your jobs, I think you can be successful at many different things, Yeah. But I will say the hotel of it all, the Applebee's of it all, customer service is, that is something you gain a lot of experience from dealing with a lot of different kind of people.
Working with people really provides a lot of direction and eye-opening experiences to do this sort of job.
Yeah. And now I work, in a different kind of customer service way. Like I work with a lot of people. I work with a lot of different directors, learning how to interact and connect with and teach hundreds and thousands of different kids every year.
Right.
So I think the cool thing about the Applebee's job, and I probably took advantage of it a few times, but they were so amazing to me. Bemidji Applebee's, shout out. They were so amazing to me with my show choir schedule. If like anything had to change, I would call in and be like, hey, I'm really behind on something and I got to get some work done on this backdrop. Can someone cover? Like they were always so amazing and supportive.
That's cool.
And then they actually had reached out to my mom, the Applebee's in Bemidji. You remember back in the day when Applebee's had all the like stuff on the walls?
Yeah.
It's different now. now because, dust and
Right.
health code violations, whatever.
Yeah.
They wanted to have a section of the Bemidji Applebee's wall dedicated to me.
Oh, shut up.
Which is really cool.
That's cool.
Really
That's
cool.
cool.
It
Yeah.
really,
Yeah.
and that's why it was a special relationship
Yeah.
and it's community and supporting the arts and all that.
Yeah.
But my mom, knowing me, reached out to me and told me about it. It was supposed to be a secret. And she's
Okay.
like, I know you.
You need to know ahead
You
of time.
need to be the one approving what pictures are
Right.
going on the wall.
Yeah.
And so then I flipped it. And instead of just having like a chunk of a wall, it was almost like the space of this entire one side of this room.
Really?
And I made it all about the show choir program and all
and
about
less about you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
were there a few things about me? Sure, that's what they asked for, and I
Right,
gave it to
right.
them. Whatever.
Yeah.
But it was about all the show choir kids I got to work with and the musicals and
Right.
and all that. So it was a really cool
That's really
experience.
cool.
But yeah, they were amazing to me.
Is it still up today?
No. So funny story when they switched to not having all the artifacts up on the walls again for cleanliness and all that, my mom goes, Applebee's called. They're delivering the wall today. And I was like, okay. So all of that stuff is actually still at my mom's house, I think.
So you have a shrine at your mom's house.
It's under a bed somewhere or in a closet or a storage room
Come
somewhere.
on, get that stuff put up on the wall.
I'll have to look for it. I'll send you some pics when I
some
go home for
pictures.
Christmas.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
So that kind of brings me back to the whole show choir process. Like, so 23, 25 groups, that's a lot of kids. One of the most impressive talents to me is how you go about remembering the names of every one of the students that you talk to me about that. How does that work? How do you do that? How did that happen? How do you make it happen?
You make it happen by number one, understanding that it's important to learn the names of your students. Number two, my choreographer, April James, used to do the same thing. Okay. And I remember a vivid memory. We were working together at Show Choir Camps of America in Tiffin, Ohio. We were sitting in this room. And at Show Choir Camp, did any of your kids ever go to Show Choir Camp?
Yeah, at least
I thought
one.
at least,
did.
yeah, I thought so. It's like 70 to 80 kids in a show choir. A
Right.
normal high school show choir, 50, 60, 40, maybe 65. So we're sitting in this circle and I'm watching April do these names and she's going through them, memorizing. And I was like, how?
Right.
How is she doing this?
Yeah.
I'm watching her doing it. But when I'm watching her doing it, I'm so focused on her doing it that I'm not learning the kids' names.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
And
you're
I'm the
watching.
counselor of her group at SEA. So when I started being a choreographer, I started doing that. And the first time I did it, it took me way longer than normal. But the only way it works for me is I sit all the kids down at the start of a rehearsal. They tell me their name, first names only, guys.
Right, okay. How can you remember
if you
both?
start throwing in last
Right.
names, too much information.
Yeah.
First names only, how many years you've been in this group, and then it's always a random fun fact. Like a couple weeks ago, one of our random fun facts with a group was like, what are you grateful for this month? Or what's your favorite food you're excited to eat at Thanksgiving?
Right.
Some silly kind of whatever.
Right.
Sometimes it'll pertain to the show. If I don't do all those things, somehow it doesn't go as well.
So
I think I need time.
You're using word association and some fun fact that you'll remember to remember their name.
Yes.
Yeah.
And at the end, so like, let's say it's your favorite candy. At the end of doing all of the names, I could also tell you probably
Right.
25% of not only your names, but also maybe what you said for your favorite candy.
Right.
But as we're going down the row, I'll do like 5 or 7 at a time. And then I go back and then I say the names out loud to the kids. And I say, okay, so-and-so, so-and-so, so-and-so. Are we good? Yep, cool. Next 7. And then I just keep building it.
Right.
What I'm doing is memorizing.
Right.
Yeah.
Not only their face and their name, but I'm also memorizing the order.
Yeah.
If I memorize the order as we're working through it, then even if I stumble, like sometimes a kid will get up and like go to the bathroom in the middle of it. And I'm like, please, nice try.
Yeah.
I know
back in the same
I
spot.
know Justin was sitting right there and the kids are like, what?
Yeah.
Or they're like, sometimes the kids will like swap when
Right.
they're trying to
So
trick
they're
me.
onto you now.
Absolutely. They try to get me all the time, but usually I'm on top of all that. I just find that the joke I make to kids, because like when I come back to a show choir, I don't always remember their names when I come back.
Right.
Because I've been with hundreds of other kids.
Yeah.
So I'll do a name refresh or I'll like talk to them and watch them and I'll have a blocking chart pulled up on my iPad and I'll go, okay, this is so-and-so. And I'm refreshing my brain as I go.
Right.
I just find that it's important to know their names, connect with them however I can connect with them.
Yep.
But my joke is, how am I going to yell at you when you're doing my choreography wrong if I don't know your name?
Right. Exactly.
That's kind of my
Right.
funny, little delivery
Yeah.
with the kids. But I find it's important, and it's important because very early in my career, I remember a girl coming up to me going, my choreographer never learned how to say my name correctly.
Okay.
That's the other thing about it.
Yeah.
I memorize the names, do my best with the sayings,
Yeah.
but the spellings, you
Right.
guys.
Sure.
The spellings
They're
now.
strange nowadays.
Everyone's throwing a GH in somewhere, a silent F, or, it's insane. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I find it's important, and it's something that I think matters to the kids. And it's just a good way to start rehearsal and kind of get comfortable with each other. And
Yeah. And I suppose behind the scenes too, it has to help a little bit that you do have a blocking chart and that you do, I mean, that helps also visualize it.
But also imagine trying to do my job well as a choreographer whose job it is to put kids into spots wherever is best for the show for them to be.
Right.
And I don't know their names.
Yeah.
Right. That's so interesting too. It's like back when I was in high school in theater class and we'd go meet at the stage. I never realized this at the time until now I'm an adult, but the director had to learn who we were.
Mm-hmm.
And so he asked to play a game where to say your name and say how you're feeling with the first letter of your first name.
Okay, yeah.
So it's alliteration. And so he would go through and we'd have to repeat everybody's name and their feeling all the way around. And like, that was how he was learning.
Yeah.
And I, at the time, would have no idea that was happening.
Yeah, but also probably a great icebreaker for the kids.
Yeah.
And then like I bet some kids were like, I'm feeling sad. And it's like, oh, and then you're like, oh, I should like talk to that person in rehearsal. Or
Right, 'cause
I'm
you had to
feeling
repeat it
whatever.
over and over, yeah.
And some of them were probably silly and fun, and it just gives you a good environment for
Right.
the start of a rehearsal.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Hey, Brian, I was just outside trying to enjoy the yard and the mosquitoes are driving me nuts.
Oh, you got to call Spring Green for that, Rob.
Spring Green? I thought they just did my fertilizer and weed control.
Oh, they do that, and our lawn looks amazing because of it. But their mosquito control is a game changer. We can actually use our patio. You know how bad the state bird gets in Minnesota.
I'm pretty sure that's the loon, but point taken. So they do lawns and mosquitoes?
And total home pest control. My house is completely mouse-free. They even do liquid aerations and lawn insect control.
Wow, I'm only using them for half of what I could be.
You should fix that. Go to spring-green.com and get a personalized quote today.
That's spring-green.com.
And tell them Owen One More Thing sent you.
Back to all your groups. How far do you travel?
I have 3 that are like, ooh. It's like when you pack the car and you're like, and you put the address in and you see the arrival time pop up. I have 3 that are far. Aberdeen, South Dakota.
Okay.
New London, Wisconsin.
Okay.
And Bemidji. From Des Moines.
Right.
Sure,
I mean,
from
it's
Des
about
Moines. Yeah.
6. All 3 of those are about 6 hours and 45 minutes.
Okay.
So that's a haul.
That's a haul.
And
It's a haul.
you're doing a lot in Iowa area, the Des Moines area, right?
I do a lot more now.
Yeah.
I moved to Des Moines in 2018.
Okay.
So I've lived there since 2018. And it's like the whole, if you build it, they will come. Somehow when choreographers move to cities, they just start getting more work in that city. How could they not?
Right.
Yeah, but those are my 3.
Okay.
Those are far drives.
Yeah,
That's like that's a day.
That's a haul. What's the farthest you've gone?
Probably either Picayune, Mississippi.
Okay.
Very
Wow.
small city in Mississippi.
Never even heard of it.
Yep, loved that city actually. They were so sweet. Otherwise I did I've choreographed like a show choir review show, and I've done Arizona All-State in Scottsdale, Phoenix area.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
You
that's
didn't
probably
drive
the
to
furthest.
that one.
Definitely not. No.
Yeah.
I have judged in Toronto.
Oh.
I don't know if they still do it, but they used to have a competition called, I think it was called Show Choir Canada or like Canada Nationals or something. And how weird of all times that I went, the one time I went and judged it, Totino Grace was there.
Oh, really?
You know what I mean? It was like, whoa, Minnesota. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
crazy. But yeah, that's probably the furthest I've gone for anything show choir related. Yeah.
What's harder, choreographing, doing choreography or judging?
For sure, choreography. I can't even believe I paused to think about that. But there's just so much more prep time in the choreography of it all. Because like sometimes when, I'm going to a rehearsal from 3 to 9, let's say, I'm going to teach a song from 3 to 9. I've already spent probably about 5 hours prepping, coming up with the ideas, making the blocking charts, processing, having my game plan, having my lesson plan kind of ready. Judging is tricky in the fact that we're being asked to be critical, but one of the beautiful things about show choir is celebrating all the different ways. You guys know this. There's so many different kinds of show choir.
Right.
There's so
Right.
many different styles of show choir. So it's hard sometimes to compare apples and oranges and bananas together and say, this is the best fruit, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
But judging days are long.
Yes.
They're really
Yeah,
long.
they
I mean,
They
some of
are.
those competitions, and yeah, I mean, you guys know that.
Yeah.
Some of the judging competitions, you're in your seat by 7:30, 8 a.m., and you're not leaving there crossing your fingers until 11, 11:30.
Midnight.
Sometimes, I mean,
Yeah.
one of the competitions I judged 2 years ago, I think it was like 1 something in the morning when I left. And I know I'm leaving before the kids are leaving.
Right.
Right.
So it's just different. It's different. It's a different pace. And if you do your job well as a judge, I think your brain's exhausted because you're constantly, you know, keeping tabs of what's going on during the day and trying to remember what the group did at 9 a.m. and what the
Right.
another group is doing at 2:30,
Right.
3:30,
Yeah.
and trying to consistently keep them on the same
Right.
level scoring field
Right.
to have the best, most unbiased and good judging there is. But yeah, I mean, they're both hard, but I've someone just asked me, how many competitions are you judging this year? And my reply was 4, and that's 4 too many. Like, that was my reply.
Right.
I also find it's kind of hard after the show choir season, which basically for me is the end of June.
Okay.
Until Thanksgiving
Okay.
is like the choreography.
Okay.
That's
Now-
when you're planning it.
Yes,
Right.
planning it.
Yeah.
We're talking 16-hour days with rehearsal, with prepping, with getting everything ready.
Yeah.
12-hour day, 14-hour day, whatever. That's a normal
Right.
choreography day. Now we're just like cleaning and working on things, and I'm
Okay.
teaching 3 to 9, you know, that kind of stuff. But it's all, I mean, it's all hard, I think, if you are doing it right and putting the effort into it. But with the judging, it gets exhausting after the choreography season and cleaning season.
Right.
Sure.
People who are judging, a lot of them are professionals in the industry or retired choir directors, and they're like, okay, it's show choir season, and I'm like, shut up. I've been doing this since the end of
Right,
June.
right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
we're
that's
month
kind of
10, I'm
hard.
done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of hard.
Well, it's a change of mindset too. It's less physical, and now it's a lot of now mind thinking and watching and
Yeah.
critiquing.
It is less physical, Brian. And that is why I was at the Waconia Anytime Fitness last night after rehearsal. Because I also see that change. My body is no longer dancing
Right.
for 6,
Right.
8, 10, 12 hours a day. And now it's like, ooh, okay, I got to now stay in
Right.
shape physically in a different way. But
so-
yeah, that's
so
fine.
you know, you're on a middle-aged podcast. Right
Yes,
now, so
yes.
we can relate to as you get older, your body just recovers quickly as you.
Absolutely.
As we talk about a lot, Brian learns a lot of things on this podcast about what he's not doing.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so you mentioned earlier your prep. You do 5-6 hours of prep before you start your actual rehearsal for the day. Is that how you typically will create a show? Is it the day of, or do you have like pre-planned ideas, or like how does that work for you?
I'm in a place now in my career where I pretty much am involved in the show design for all my shows now.
Okay.
So when I'm show designing in like the spring, let's say like February, March, April, May, really hitting show design hard, it doesn't take me as long to choreograph anymore because those shows are already in my head.
Okay.
I've already had the vision for the show. If I create the show and I'm picking the songs, I've already thought about what I might do with it.
Okay.
Right.
But wait, what was that question? The original question? I think I just veered.
Yeah, no, that's okay. How do you create them? Like, is it the day of? Or
Yeah, okay.
Pre-planning, yeah.
So because I think I'm so already, I start, like I wake up in the morning and I start a new song, but I'm not starting that new song from not knowing the song,
Okay.
from not knowing anything about the show.
Right,
I'm starting it with, this is what the song is intended to be in the show.
Okay.
This is maybe I know we're going to have a prop, or this is what we're wearing for it. So I am a morning of choreographer.
Okay.
So I will get up like a normal summer day, get up at 4 or 5 a.m. I give myself 30 minutes to get ready. And then, so let's say I get up at 4. At 4:30, the iPad is out. I've got my little mixed up Celsius drink and I'm ready to go.
and you're going.
And then I'm choreographing and coming up with ideas and planning all the way probably until like 11. And then I break and then I go teach.
So when you're talking about, help our listeners understand here, when you're talking about show design, that's more of the show design versus choreo. That's two completely different things.
Very
You're
different things.
Laying out the show as in what happens here, here, here in a progression versus the dance steps.
Yep.
Okay.
And the show design part of it is picking the theme, picking what the overall message might be of your show,
Right.
picking the songs, but I also then go through and I lay out how I want the music to be written. So when the sheet music comes to the kids, most of it has been laid out by me where I go, I want to do verse 1 and chorus 1 of this song, and then I want to cut to this other song, and like medleys and mashups, whatever.
Sure.
So that also gives me a step forward for when I'm going to start choreographing the song. And it's all in my Google Docs.
Yeah.
So I can go through my Google Docs and go, oh, that's right. This is where I wanted to do this idea or whatever. Yeah.
So my daughter Elise was telling me about layering. So that you are doing that. You're layering when you want that song and how does that going to mesh together, and the tempo changes here, et cetera, et cetera. That's cool.
Yeah. And, some choreographers are involved in those things. Some directors take the reins on all of that.
Right.
And there are some people, one of them is one of my best friends, Adam Peters, who has worked with Waconia before. Now people are show designing and going, hey, I've got this great show. Let me pitch it to you for a group. Let's figure out what group it would be best for. Or it's almost like there's like show design teams now, which I think is cool because, the more help you get, everything's better when people are collaborating and bringing new ideas to the table. But it's kind of cool that like there's this whole new wave with show choir of like freelance people paving their own path kind of right now. And then like becoming, doing show design and going and being a clinician and working with groups who also now are kind of judging and whatnot. But yeah, the choreography of it all, if I didn't do any of that other stuff, I would be waking up every morning going, okay, what's this song?
Yeah.
Or I would be looking at it the night before, and there are some things that I choreograph in advance, especially if I'm like working with an assistant like Alex Schultz, Waconia alum.
Right.
Well, he's more of a nighttime choreographer and I'm more of a morning choreographer. So finding that compromise if you're going to work together. Yeah. Sometimes we will make up more stuff at night, it just depends.
Right.
Yeah.
So sometimes I suppose a song probably dictates some of the dance moves.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Song, show, style. I have
they fall together.
Like Milton, Wisconsin, where you guys have been before. They're doing Toy Story this year.
Oh, fun.
I already know what vibe I'm going to go with because it's Toy Story.
Right.
We're going to be come to life toys. There are certain looks that are going to be just the vibe.
Right.
Yeah.
That'll be cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun.
Yeah, I was going to ask you what you do in the off season, but you don't have an off season.
You
really don't.
You really
there must be a little bit of time.
And and some people would hear this and go, well, that's your fault, Kevin Chase. Like that is your own doing. And you know what? To those people, I say, you are not wrong. Like that is my own doing.
Yeah.
But it's what's made my shows better. And it's what's made, I think, my career more successful than maybe it would have been.
Right.
Because I am an all-in, fully submerged choreographer in my shows.
Yeah.
I do have an off season. The judging part of it all, like I just was looking at my schedule. I think February, I have like maybe 1 rehearsal scheduled.
Okay.
And then it's like 2 weekends for competition. So like I do have off time.
Yeah.
But the show design does take a lot of time. These shows, show choir is on a whole nother level. And it's just continued to grow and evolve. And it's like we're doing these production numbers and you go see some of these amazing show choirs and I would put some of those show choirs on a Broadway stage.
Kennedy?
Yeah, there are so many. There's so many great show choirs all over the country who are just killing it, but it takes a lot. It definitely takes a lot, yeah.
So if it wasn't for show choir, and obviously you sort of fell into that genre and that choreography, what do you think you'd be doing?
So interesting because the whole, like I said, the hotel and Applebee's of it all, what got me to move to Minneapolis, because I moved to Minneapolis in 2010 from Bemidji, and it was to pursue being a show choir choreographer. Like that was a move that I made. It was like a pack your bags, pack your dreams, get out on the road. Grandma, grandpa wiping away their tears because they're thinking their grandchild, who is like one of their own children, is going to be a starving artist and not be able to fend for themselves and whatever. But yeah, moving to Minneapolis just like started the whole catalyst of it all. Yeah.
Would you do any show choir choreography for like theater, musical theater, that sort of thing?
I'm going to answer this very honestly. I have before.
You have?
when I was at Bemidji, because I did the theater program, so I was the director and the choreographer.
Sure.
I've choreographed a couple musicals in the Des Moines area. The hard part about choreographing musicals is they don't really do like choreo camps.
Right.
If they did choreo camps, I would be open to doing more musicals. But I do not want to go for 2 weeks and teach choreography from 3:30 to 5:30
Yeah.
every day after school for a musical.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say this, it's not all about the money. We don't do all of our work for a paycheck.
Right.
I find that musical theater choreographers aren't compensated as well as show choir choreographers.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But that might be the difference of, musical theater, it's a school activity. So there is a budget established for that, where show choirs are creating their own budgets and creating their own paths.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Gotcha.
So I was doing some sleuthing on your Facebook for a while. That's how I found out some of these questions to ask you. But Bemidji did a show choir 30th anniversary school reunion, and it was on the Lakeland News. They reported the story. So how much did that mean to you?
It's very interesting. It was equally stressful as it was amazing and beautiful.
Yeah.
And one of the really truly, like, the more I process it and watch it since then, really such a beautiful experience, because I'm working alongside my high school choreographer, who I worked with at Bemidji anyways.
Right. And
then
you look up to her.
Yeah, absolutely. Him. Yeah. But absolutely.
yeah.
And in walks all these alumni, some of them who were my students, like as a director and a choreographer.
Yeah.
And then this other batch who I was on stage with.
Okay.
That's what really got me. The people. Yeah. I remember, there's people like Anna Collins walking in, who was like my first partner in one of my first choreo camps at Bemidji. And she was so amazing, and I looked up to her so much. And then in walks Anna Carlson, who I was a captain of Vocomotive with.
Okay.
And like, it just was these two different worlds colliding. And then it's like these people coming up to me and introducing me to their children, and which made me feel old also a little bit. And like, I want to introduce you to my partner. I want you to meet my husband, like all of these things. And I was just like, whoa. Yeah. I mean, talk about a full circle moment, that I was in the room with people from really like the early years of Bemidji Show Choir, from like 1994, 95 to last season.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All on stage together.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. It was amazing. It was so much work.
Yeah.
It was so much work. And I think now that we've done it, the next one, I think it's hard. How do you just start reaching out and trying to collect information for hundreds and hundreds of people, you know?
Right.
I will say one person did sign up, and it was a little confusing on the form, but like, we're all seated, and it was like, I'm looking around the room, and I'm like, one of these things is not like the other. And there was a very elderly gentleman who was sitting in the seat, and we're like, I think he thinks this might be something else. I think he thought it was just more of like, I was in choir, but wasn't ever in show choir. Do you know what I mean? So that was kind of funny, but it was cool. It was really special. Yeah. My nieces and nephews got to watch me on stage for the first time, which I think is kind of cool.
That's cool.
Sure.
Because they only see a certain side of me. Right. So it was cool that they got to see me in that role. Yeah. I had a lot of lovely family from Kansas who came up for it. And my mom and I hosted and provided like the social gathering afterwards. So after the concert, we still got to all get together and spend time together and talk. And it was absolutely a lot of work. It was a lot of stress, but like, aren't some of the most wonderful things that way? Right. You know, there's so much love and effort put into it. Yeah. And it was really special. It was a really special performance. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So some more Facebook stalking.
Okay. I love it.
Right. So you mentioned you want to go see Dolly Parton in Vegas. So she changed her show. It was going to be, when was it? It was going to be
December 25.
It was going to be December, but now it's going to be in September.
September 26th.
Yeah.
It got moved. So you called it a bucket list moment.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Dolly Parton, for me, I don't know if it's just her like electric, positive and accepting attitude. I don't know if it's the music. I don't know if it's listening to Coat of Many Colors and feeling like an outcast as a little boy growing up in Bemidji. I don't know what it is. There's something about her that I just resonate to. And I've always said her and Celine Dion have always been my like top two, but I always feel so guilty when I pick a top one between the two of those. Yeah. So what's funny is I'd always said I wanted to see her in whatever capacity. Yeah. And it's the kind of thing where I don't need it to be amazing. Yeah. I don't need it to be this big event. That woman could walk out on stage, grab her guitar and go, la, and walk off stage, and I would go,
And you're good.
encore, you know, but also really encore because I'd like to hear more than one note. Right. But I don't know. I respond to her. So it's really weird. I had seen the ad, you know, Facebook, of course, all these things pop up. Yeah. I'd seen the ad, and I was like, well, that's kind of cool. Vegas, that's a fun little place to go. And then my mom sends me a text, and she sends me a screenshot of the ad she saw on Facebook. And she goes, Dolly, we should go. Just a very general comment.
Right.
I called her back the next day, and I said, what do you have on these dates? She says, nothing. And I said, I'm booking Dolly. Because I had this thought where I was like, you know what? Why do we wait so long to have the experiences? Exactly. And maybe there is something about getting to that middle age bracket of life where you're going, TikTok is going the clock, and I work my butt off for my money and my opportunities and whatever. Like, why not treat yourself and just do those fun and to get to do it with my mom, who there's only so many opportunities I have to take trips with my mom. Yep. So I called the Bloomington Kennedy director because I was scheduled for rehearsal that day. And I said, listen, normally I will run these by you, but I'm letting you know, Alex Schultz will fill in for me, and I'm going to Vegas. Right. You know, I'm going to go to Vegas with my mom. Everything was booked, flights, hotels, tickets, whatever. And then the whole cancellation of it all. Right. And I didn't accept the rescheduled tickets because I just felt like, what if those dates really don't work for me? And like, my schedule sucks to create. Sure. 25 different schools trying to organize it all. Yeah. And I was like, what if scheduling Dolly in September really screws up my schedule and really like affects one of my show choirs? Sure. Right. And also, who knows what's going to go on with Dolly in September with health issues, all that. Yeah. Who knows if my mom will be able to make that work? So I didn't reschedule it, and I'm just letting the universe lead me in whatever direction it's going to be. And if I never see Dolly on stage, that's cool too, you know? So it was kind of interesting. You have this life moment where you're like, I'm going to do it. Yeah. I'm going to do this bucket list moment, and I'm going to take life by the horns. And then it's like, just kidding. That's actually not going to happen. And it's like, well, that's so the universe, you know, it's just like, it is what it is. Right. So
you've obviously seen 9 to 5.
The musical?
Movie, musical, whichever one you want.
Yeah. Movie more so. Yeah.
So you were either a toddler or not born yet when it first came out in 1980, right?
Born in 83. Correct.
There you go. Yep. So is that, you've seen it, and what do you think about that? How does that kind of, it's a fun movie, and she does a great role in it.
Dolly is really successful when she's playing something related to who she is as a real person.
Exactly.
If you watch her role in 9 to 5, if you watch her role in Steel Magnolias, she's just really being Dolly. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Someone was just talking about this, how certain people are really successful with certain acting roles or whatever. But even when you look at a Meryl Streep, yes, she's playing different characters and has different accents, but like, it's still Meryl. Somehow there's still
there's
Meryl
still that
in
person in there
Absolutely.
Who embodies who we all think she is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah.
But you know, when Dolly agreed to do that, she said that she had to write the song, and that, you know, she plays the washboard with her acrylic nails in the movie.
She's a businesswoman.
It's crazy.
She's a businesswoman for sure. Yeah. I mean, especially as a woman in the music industry, to go in and say, yeah, I'll take this role in a movie. However, you're going to let me write the theme song. I mean, genius.
Right.
It's genius.
Okay. So, you know, we're talking about sleuthing on Facebook. I came across a quote: "If better is possible, good is not enough." And that's attributed to Ben Franklin. It is called to strive for excellence and continuous improvement rather than being content with meeting the basic standards. So what does that mean to you?
So I actually was introduced to that quote at Show Choir Campus of America. And there was just this guy doing this workshop. I couldn't even tell you his name. I wish I could. And he just said the quote. And for some reason, I was sitting on those steps and I was like, like it really resonated with me. Right. As I think more about it, it became this thing that I started like sharing with my show choirs. But I think more than anything, maybe at that point in my life, I also resonated with the quote and like I got to push myself and I got to like put some more effort in. And if I want to be successful and take care of myself. And so it just became this like really nice way to wrap everything up at the end of my choreo camps. And I would share it with some, not all. And then slowly throughout the years, it was Muscatine, Iowa, was the first time I ever got it printed on a bracelet.
Sure.
And I had a rehearsal with those kids and it was a little rough and they just needed like some extra love.
Right.
And so I left feeling like we did a really good job, but then I ordered these bracelets and I sent them to them in the mail.
Okay.
And they received them and they were, so touched and whatever. And then it just kind of became this thing. And then it kind of became this like extra special thing I would do with some groups once in a while. And then all of a sudden I'm like, going to schools and now they've got like posters made of it and I'm seeing like if better is possible, good is not enough on people's posters in classrooms. And I just left Lewis Central High School. It's on the back of their rehearsal t-shirts, stuff like that. So it's a quote that I've shared a lot with my groups.
Yeah. It's catching on.
Yeah. And I have 3 or 4 different students who have sent me tattoos with it on their body.
Okay. So they're really
one of them, a dear friend of mine now, asked me to write it in my handwriting. So it's my handwriting on his arm.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, are you sure? Have you talked to your mom?
Right.
Like, I was really nervous about it. Interesting. Knowing that this topic might come up in the podcast, because a lot of people do know me for that quote and sharing it with groups and whatever. And I have probably ordered thousands of those silicone bands at this point now.
Right.
Interestingly enough, I have chosen to not implement that quote into my seasons anymore.
Okay.
And part of me at first, it started becoming expected.
Yeah.
Kids were starting to we would end a choreo camp and they would go, what? We don't get bracelets this year? And I'm like, sometimes it was just supposed to be this fun, special thing once in a while.
Right.
It did become a quite regular thing with Waconia Power Company at Camp Courage when we started going to this resort.
Yeah.
Whoa, that's a strong word. But do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Definitely not a resort.
Not a resort.
Wilderness, campground, whatever, cabins, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
And then it just became this fun thing that we started doing at this retreat, of it all. But then when kids started asking for it and making comments that they didn't get it, I was like, ooh, this is changing the whole intent behind it all from the beginning.
Right. It kind of run its course by then.
I think so too.
Yeah.
And there also came a point where I thought, the mental health of it all, we're in such a different place now than we were 10, 12 years ago, 15 years ago. And is it the right message for me to be standing in front of a kid saying, if better is possible, good is not enough. No matter what, you should always be better.
Right.
Fine line between, where is the line between pushing ourselves past our point of comfort zone to grow, to evolve, to get over negative situations in life, but also recognizing some days 75% is your 100, or some days our best looks different every day, So then I found myself, I was sharing the quote and still doing bracelets and then going, but also I want to say this. Also, be mindful of mental, and then it became this whole, I felt like I was having to give this post talk with it.
Right.
And then it just slowly, I never ordered any more bracelets.
Yeah.
And Waconia actually got my last batch of the original bracelets, the original fonts. And then also I tried this new company and it was something about after seeing the same font on a bracelet for 10 to 12 years, and then seeing this other font, I was like, ooh, this feels like a knockoff. It didn't feel like what it once felt like.
It came from China.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just very much, I've just slowly let it organically dissipate.
Sure.
I still think it's a great quote. I still think we can all benefit from pushing ourselves sometimes, and we all need that reminder. I still have a bracelet that has it on it at home, and I think it's still a great quote. I just don't use it as one of my things as much anymore.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what you're saying, these things are collectible now.
Yeah. Oh, so you got, see, there you go. eBay, sell it.
Not eBay. I happen to know a good choreographer.
Yeah.
That's right.
I know a guy.
I will say there are not many people in the country who are not students who have ever gotten one.
I realize
Yeah,
that, yes.
I know that you have. I called her Grandma Loudon, but remember Jan?
Yes, absolutely.
I know that I gave her one
Absolutely.
once at a rehearsal. Yeah,
That's
cool.
cool.
That's super cool.
Yep. So, Kevin, you demonstrate a kind of do-good or good vibes attitude. Can you help us understand your life philosophy?
This is interesting. This was the most interesting thing of looking through, if I can say behind the scenes. You sent me an email with some questions we might talk, or text
Right.
with some questions we might have a heads up on.
Right.
I added this one today.
Okay. But as I was looking through your things, show choir, and then it became like positivity and kindness and inspiration and good vibes. And I was like, oh, it's kind of like cool to take a step back and get like people's perspective of you and like how you are viewed by quote unquote the world.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so you say that now.
Yeah.
And these questions sort of evolved because of my wife, Amy,
Okay.
who says your background and who you are as a person outside of choreography led me into these questions.
Interesting.
Yeah. That's how she sees you. We all see you that
which
way.
is lovely. And honestly, I got emotional when I first read the questions for I talked to one of my best friends about this. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going on this podcast. They sent me some stuff, but like, whoa, it just kind of maybe reinforced the good that I maybe really try and attempt to do. I think there's this quote, hurt people. Do you know what I mean? Hurt people also really try to help and heal other people.
Right.
I am a product of a lot of crap from childhood, a lot of maybe not so great experiences growing up. And we all have our stories.
Right.
We all have our trauma or whatever. I've always just been such a sensitive soul to people hurting or people being left out or people being treated unkindly. I remember once in middle school, I'm sitting in the cafeteria. I'm an 8th grader and my sister was a 6th grader. We were in the same building for that one year. And I see one of her friends walk into the cafeteria with a tray. And it's like early school year just starts. And I'm watching her walk around looking for somebody to sit with. And I'm watching this poor kid.
the worst experience.
Yes. It's like the getting picked last in gym, or it's, this kid is walking around with her tray and I know her, but I don't know her well, but she is one of my sister's friends. And I just see her face and I see her body language. I'm an 8th grader. I went to the bathroom and I cried in lunch. I went to the bathroom and physically cried in the stall because I felt so bad for this girl. So I've always just felt the like pain of the world and the bull crap of it all and like just wanting people to be happy. But I think that comes from when you've lived a life of struggles or not being happy or being bullied or being picked on. Like, of course you don't want that for anybody else,
Right. Right.
So do I think positivity and good vibes and all that stuff is like really important to put out into the world? Yeah. Especially now. And, there's always going to be climates going on in our country and things going on. But like, I say this a lot, like my religion and my love and my philosophy and the way that I try to live my life is just rooted in love. Whatever that means for people. Love is being generous. Love is donating to organizations. Love is being there for somebody. Love is an Instagram post in the morning. And sometimes even for me, I'm like, I get to a point where I'm like, now I'm just searching for an Instagram post to post because that's what I do sometimes. I'll post positive messages.
Right.
But then you have a random person who reaches out and like sends you a message going, thank you so much. I really needed to hear that
helped me
today.
today,
Yeah. So I don't know. It's interesting because I think a lot of my students in show choir would say, Kevin's really hard on us. Kevin's really strict. And like, we sometimes get a little nervous when Kevin's coming back in town. But then I think they'd also go, but he loves us so much and he cares about us so much and he pushes us so much and he laughs with us and he connects with us. So,
Right.
I think there's both of
you're
those things.
that adult figure that's helping them see that hard work that they're putting in
Absolutely.
really results in something great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just think, I think, well, another quote is, I think John F. Kennedy, everyone can change the world and everyone should try or something like that.
Right,
So
okay.
like, that's how I try to make my to make my difference, whether I'm in front of a group of students live in person or not, or I'm just posting something positive. But also, I think some of the things that I put out into the world, I'm putting them out into the world because I resonated with them. I read something in a quote that made me feel like I could get up and go a little bit better that morning.
Yeah.
So why not share it with others?
Right.
Well, and everybody's on their own personal journey, and that's probably your journey of keeping yourself happy and optimistic is doing those. And what people don't realize is that you're putting it out there for yourself. Yeah, so it helps you as well as helping others.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, we are on our own, everyone's on our own personal journey, and I come to realize recently that about learning gratitude and being mindful of that situation. So I started a gratitude journal, and it helps me every day that I write in it, just remind myself that, hey, you know what? Things are good.
Yeah.
You know, and be happy for those things.
Yeah. I just read something like a couple days. And of course, Thanksgiving just happened. So gratitude posts all over social media.
Right.
But it was every morning you should get out of bed, look out the window, and just recite to yourself one thing that you're grateful for. It sounds so cheesy, but why not?
Right.
All of us sitting here probably wish we had certain things like other people or whatever the case may be. But oh my God, we have a lot. We have a lot that a lot of other people don't have. And so that is a reminder to be grateful and to be,
I get out of bed and I can barely walk and my knees creak and I can barely make it to the bathroom.
Dude, talk to me. I mean, that's my life right now in this season.
This is your future right here.
But honestly, it's very real. There is something about the 40s, because I'm 42 now.
Oh my gosh, you're so young.
Well, am I? I'm not sure. It does.
Yeah.
You can be as healthy as you want to be. You can be as proactive with supplements or doctor's appointments and procedures, whatever. But the body ages, So I think there's something to be said about that. I'm getting to a place where, I'm in my early 40s and it's okay, you just start to view things differently and you have a different, I guess, people always say with life experience, blah, 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 blah.
Sure.
It's probably
true.
Well,
you're always learning.
Absolutely.
We did a show called Menopause, which is the male version of menopause, and you just learn so much about it. So go out and listen to it.
Well, one of your episodes should be menopause, and you should educate the listeners on
men
actual
about what
menopause.
women go through.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
That'd be cool.
Write that down.
We'd have to have women on our podcast.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Ooh, our wives.
Our wives, right? I'm sure they'd be happy to talk about that.
Oh, they would love it. No, they wouldn't.
That's funny.
So you've obviously had some role models in your life in helping you become this purposeful, positive person. Is there anything you can help us understand about who that might have been and where that came from?
I really have been blessed with some amazing educators. I mean, I remember, my 7th grade music teacher, Janet Weaver, Chris Fettig, my high school teacher, all these people that have given me opportunities, but I also learned a lot from in the music setting. But I don't know. And I know it's cheesy. A lot of people say these kind of answers, but my mom is truly a survivor and has gone through some really tragic. So when she was pregnant with me, my biological dad passed away in a car accident while she was pregnant with me.
Okay.
So and he passed away 2 weeks after they got married. So, it was talk about you're a young single mom and now you're raising this child. And she said something about I didn't know whether to send out thank you cards for the wedding or thank you cards for the flowers for the funeral first, which one, And so I think about somebody like her who's really been through a lot and she's so positive. She's always the ray of sunshine at all of the family get-togethers.
Sure.
She's the one fostering, hey, when someone walks in the door and she's excited to see them. And whether or not that is always how she feels on that day, either it's authentically who she is or she chooses to wake up and have gratitude we were talking about and go, I'm happy to be alive. I'm happy to have my family and I'm happy to be a grandma with my grandkids and have a good job. And life is great. So why not act accordingly?
Well, and she has a perspective of living through that tragedy.
Absolutely.
That helps her view today.
Yeah.
Sure.
And she is never more proud of me than when she's at a show choir competition.
I'll bet.
She goes to Bloomington Gold with me every year now, pretty much. She loves going to a show choir competition. Yeah. She loves hearing my name. It sounds so stupid, but it's true. Yep. She loves and is so proud when they say choreographed by Kevin Chase. Because when an MC doesn't say it, she like leans in and she's like, they did not say your name. You know? So I think, you know, there's a lot of people. Yeah. But like, who has been one of my better role models collectively through my whole life? Then I'd say my mom, for sure.
There you go. That's great.
That's awesome. Yeah. All right. What do you think is right now one cause or issue that's closest to your heart right now, and why?
We kind of touched on it a little bit, but like I said, everything I think is rooted in love for me, and you try to have positivity and inspiration put out into the world. I just think our world right now, whatever you believe in, whoever you vote for, whatever you stand by, we're just like so divided right now. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely.
And I understand some of that division because I have made choices in my life to set some boundaries with some people, whether I'm following them on social media or it's family members whose values and beliefs do not align with what's important to me.
Right.
So for me right now, I think we just like, we gotta like just be kinder to everybody and have more empathy, but having conversations. I think so much is lost when you don't communicate with people. Yep. And then people have their assumptions and people have their assumptions. And then there's people out here in the world going, well, I don't believe that so-and-so should X, Y, Z. And it's like, have you ever talked to one human in the so-and-so camp? Have you ever talked to one person who maybe has lived this life experience that you are so against or you are so whatever? So I don't know. I think people just need to come together and hear each other and be open to just being kinder and being more loving, because it is heavy. I mean, the world is heavy right now. And I feel it sometimes, you know, certain things are happening politically or pop culture, whatever it might be. And you can feel it. You walk into a room of kids and you can feel that like it's unsteady sometimes. There are some things going on in the world that rattle people, you know?
Right. Yep.
So I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, we're going to get through this all. And and then sometimes I'm like, hope we get through this all, you know? But then I guess, you know, with love also comes hope. I think hope is a good thing. And so I just hope we all move forward. Right. And come together. And, you know, I think humanity is so interesting because it's these big life events that bring people together, whether it's a death or whether it's a school shooting or whether it's some tragic thing that happens in a city. And now we're GoFunding and the community's rallying together. That's when humanity is so beautiful. And we lose all of that when all these other things kind of get mixed up into
Absolutely.
Right. Kevin, thank you very much for being here. You've talked a lot. So I'm going to talk for a little bit.
Cool.
I'm going to talk about...
go, Rob.
I'm going to talk about Kevin and
cool.
why I love Kevin.
Oh.
Okay, so I have some stories to share.
Cool.
So one of the unique things about the Waconia Show Choirs, and they do Camp Courage. And Camp Courage is, like I said, a remote wilderness retreat in the middle of October when the leaves are falling. It's cold in Minnesota in October.
It's beautiful. Come on.
It's beautiful, but it's cold. And the last year I was there, on one of our days, all the kids were running around and they're like, we're going to jump in the lake today. And we're all like, no, we're not doing that, dude. It's cold. And they kept going. And finally they go up to the director, Aaron, and said, you'll do it, right? He goes, well, you guys get 25 people, I'll do it. They had 25 people in about 2 seconds. Instantly. Yeah. And then he's like, oh, what did I get myself into? And they kept going and finally get to the end of rehearsal. And Kevin goes, all right, here's the deal. If you guys all do it, I will get Rob to do it. And we'll all go in there with you. Nobody on this earth could get me to jump into a lake except for Kevin Chase.
Oh, I love it.
I guarantee it. If Aaron would have looked at me and said, you're going to jump in the lake? I said, yeah, no.
So we're not doing the polar plunge?
We did the polar plunge.
Basically was that, yeah.
It was a polar plunge. It was
in October,
cold.
I know it was.
It was cold.
Yeah.
It was cold. So,
but I loved it.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was so fun. And like, that's so not me. Truly, that's so not me.
Yeah.
But like, what a great memory for those kids. And it was fun. It was funny. It was fun. It was this funny thing that bonded us all together because it actually was terrible. It was so cold.
Horrendously
so cold. Yeah. But it was so fun.
It was fun.
It was super fun.
It was fun.
Yeah, but look at that.
We did it.
This now. You guys are still talking about it.
Right.
And before he even said a few sentences into what you were saying, I knew exactly where we were going with this. Because it's like singed in my brain.
Right?
Good and bad. Yeah.
Absolutely. Second thing I have is, again, my daughter's last year, Kayla, and a picture got taken of her on stage. So at the end of the competition, they won. It was one of the first competitions that season. They won. She's holding the trophy. She's got a huge smile on her face, and I'm coming up to high five her. And somebody grabbed a picture of that. I posted that on Facebook.
Yeah.
And the first person to comment on it was Kevin. And he gave this beautiful quote on how fantastic it was. And I printed that, and that's currently on my desk, and it's in my daughter's room right now.
That's so cool.
I mean, that's just, it's so, the positivity from that, it just blew me away and brought tears to my eyes. And I just absolutely loved it.
That's so sweet. Thank you for sharing that. That's a reminder of like, when you feel something, say something. You know what I mean?
Yep, absolutely.
There was a show choir mom the other day. She posted something on Facebook, and I was like, oh my God, what a great mom. I should have sent her a message, and I will. Now I will. I'm going to do it.
You're going to go back and do it.
But like, lift the people up around you, and you know, share your love for them.
Yeah, I mean, I just want you and everybody listening to know that you don't just impact the kids that you work with. I mean, you impact people around you. You impact the parents, and it has a lasting impression on everybody you come into contact.
That's so
with.
sweet.
So that's
well, I thank you for saying that, and it comes back to me. But I think that's what fuels me to keep going and to keep doing this. I mean, I started doing this quote unquote professionally, technically 2004, and then 2010.
Right.
This is a long time to be doing this job over and over and over.
Yeah.
So that's also what fuels me to like know that you're making a difference and keep trying to. Yeah, that's cool.
And the last thing I had was when Brian and I started this podcast, we posted it, and you were one of the first people to respond and said, "That is so cool. I'm so excited for you guys." And I sent you a message right away. And said, "Hey, Kevin, you be a guest?" Pff, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, we scheduled this a while ago, for sure.
A long time ago, like months ago.
Yeah.
And I'm excited you've been here.
That's awesome.
It's been
good
great.
to see you guys.
Good to see you too. Fantastic human being. Thank you so much for your time and spending time with us.
Appreciate it so much.
And just love seeing you, man.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. All right, everyone. As always, please follow us on the socials at 01 One More Thing Pod on Facebook and Instagram for highlights and news of our upcoming shows.
And if you have any show ideas or just want to give some feedback, send us an email at 01onemorethingpod@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you.
Plus, we do sell some merchandise, t-shirt, caps. If you're interested, just send us an email. And Kevin, as a guest today, you are getting a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Woo. Right? Woohoo.
Oh, and one more thing. Life is a lot like show choir, full of harmony, rhythm, and courage to step out in the spotlight. So keep on singing, keep dancing, and never stop moving to the beat of your own story.
That's right.
Bye, everybody.
All right. See you, everyone. Kevin, you're going to teach me how to dance, right?
Of course. It's like 2 minutes.